Welcome to Edexcel AS Mathematics. Formac Online Mathematics Academy is pleased to bring to you Edexcel AS Mathematics as one of the flagship programs that we teach students across the world and putting them on the higher pedestal of success. At Formac Online Mathematics Academy, we provide you with tested and proved pathways that accelerate your excellence in mathematics. And this variant will be handled by yours truly, Francisco Diambo. We move you from the bottom of this ladder. At the bottom here is your good course presently. And then we move you through our strategies and methodologies that I'm going to describe here to the top. At the top here is making you have good grades, that is grades A and B. We assure you of this because more than 90% of our students, year in, year out, for the last 5 years have been scoring between A and B. In very extreme cases, we find about some 5% scoring grade C. We introduce and explain mathematical concepts in the simplest way possible using the real-world models. By real-world models, we mean interacting with things that you see on everyday activity and relating them to the various concepts that we teach. For instance, if we are taking you through quadratics, the equations and the expressions, then we will be drawing curves, quadratic curves. In their nature, they are always parabolic. Parabolic is like a rainbow. Rainbow, because of the bow which forms after the rains, that bow-like shape is the parabola. So a rainbow is a maximum parabola because it can reach a maximum height in the sky. The other example is when a football is kicked in a pitch, it moves in two directions, horizontally from the footballer and vertically into the air. But the shape that it takes eventually is a parabolic shape. So we use these models to calculate that horizontal distance and the vertical distance and the time that that ball stays in air. This comes both in pure mathematics and in mechanics, where we deal with trajectories. So that path is called a trajectory. The path that that ball follows is a trajectory. So our approaches give learners the surest way to some of the top universities in the world. By this, I mean from Europe, including UK, North America, and in the Far East, I would take examples of countries like Australia and Singapore, which have got some of the best and well-sought universities in the world. In this, you are assured of a predictable career in the industry, research, entrepreneurship, or academia. But what is important in this program, mathematics is a key requirement. Not only mathematics, high scores. And that is why we are here to work with you every week, every month for the next one academic year to ensure that you qualify for these top grades in mathematics. How do we achieve this? Each concept area is followed by 3 to 5 well-explained worked examples. The examples are put in such a way that you would be able to follow them and master them. Then, at the end of every concept, which we try that every week we teach a different concept, learners are given 5 to 10 questions as homework assignment. So these ones, you are expected to do them using the methods that are already discussed in class and submit them for marking and comments from our tutors. And for this variant, by me. Then at the end of the week, we have one virtual class of about 1 hour. In the virtual class, we discuss the challenges that you could have met during the week that the tutor has observed in your responses to the questions. And in most cases, these classes will be 1-to-1 or few-to-1. There's a reason why we also prefer few-to-1, because you will be able to learn from your colleagues taking the same exams from the same variants, so that their challenges can be a basis for your success, and your challenges can also be a basis for their mastery of what is being taught. Then thereafter, fortnightly, there will be a quiz. The quiz comes from the exam type questions, basically from the past papers or molded past papers. These are marked and graded to help the learners identify their areas of weakness. And once this is done, they are addressed at the earliest time possible, so that as we move together along this ladder to the top grade. And that can only be achieved if we address the challenges as we go on. Edexcel AS level mathematics comprises of 2 papers. Paper 1 is pure mathematics. Paper 2 is statistics and mechanics. So we have 3 content areas: pure mathematics, statistics, and mechanics. The 2 papers combined and the 3 areas as a whole will take us 5 to 6 months to cover. Then thereafter, we will be taking you through a revision process using past papers. Like paper 1, we'll do 5 papers from the most recent examinations under the Edexcel, revise and make comments and advise. The same to paper 2, which is statistics and mechanics. Again, we'll give you at least 5 past papers. We'll take you through that. And in addition, for each of the papers, we will set exams for you in at least 3 papers, which will mark and grade and help us to predict your grade finally. So that by the end of the academic year, as we are approaching exams, there will be no doubt in our mind that we'll have given you the best. And that is why we want you to be with us, so that you can be a part of the team that succeed because of our resilience. As you can see, paper 1, pure mathematics, this is what we are going to start with. It takes 2 hours in the examination, and it is marked over 100 marks, but its weight is 62.5% of the final AS grade. So, pure mathematics has got 9 topics. The first one is proof. The second one is algebra and functions, coordinate geometry in 3 dimensions or XY plane, sequences and series. Here we'll be dealing with progressions like arithmetic progressions and geometric progressions. Trigonometry, we'll be dealing with things like sine of an angle, cosine of an angle, and tangent of an angle. Exponentials and logarithms. Differentiation, that is now the key of calculus. Integration, calculus. Vectors summarizes the calculus. For this variant, we are going to start with algebra and functions, basically because a topic like proof need knowledge of algebra and functions. So we'll do it first, then we'll go to proof, then coordinate geometry, and in that order. So The next paper, paper 2, is Statistics and Mechanics. This is examined in 1 hour 15 minutes and it comprises 37.5% of the qualification, as much as it is marked out of 100. Statistics comprises of statistical sampling, data presentation and interpretation, probability, statistical distributions, and statistical hypothesis testing, whereby we'll be dealing with things like null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis. That is the basis of research in any industry. So for research, you'll have to know about statistical hypothesis testing. So this will be helpful to you both at AS level, at your undergraduates, and even when you go for postgraduates, still there will be research. When you go to the industry, especially in the field of business, there will still be research. Like I take students through marketing research, whereby we also analyze the consumer behavior, the performance of one product against the competition, and we use these tools that we are going to teach you here. So these tools will be applicable beyond the school. Then in mechanics, we'll look at quantities and units in mechanics. Units is like units of measurements like Newton forces, meters per second for velocity. Physics students will be very comfortable with that, but we are not approaching it from physics point of view. We are approaching it from mathematical point of view. So even if at all you are not in physics class or you didn't take physics at IGCSE or GCSE, still you will not be disadvantaged. Then kinematics, which deals with motions of objects. Then forces and newtons form the last of our various topics in this area. So in our first topic, which we are going to handle from today, we'll be looking at index laws or laws of indices. Indices is basically the plural of index. When it is more than one index, we call them indices. So like M is index, N is index, but when we have M and N in this first law, then we call the two of them indices. So in indices, we have the base. So the base is, Y here is the base, and 6 in this expression is the power or the exponent or the index. So for us to multiply two exponential numbers, that is numbers that are raised to a particular power, they must have the same base. So if this were A and this were B, then we could not simplify it beyond that. But because they are both A, then we simply add the powers. In division, the bases also need to be the same, and then we subtract the power of the divisor from the power of the dividend to get a power for the quotient. Third law is law of association. So you'll find that the power is outside of a number raised to a particular power. This is A to the power of n multiplied by itself n times. So we simply multiply m and n to give us A power mn. So all this we are going to follow with mathematical examples to make it a little bit easier within the next few minutes. Then when we have a product of two numbers raised to a given bracket, so let's say this is A power 1, so 1 times m is A power m. B power 1 times m is B power m. And this is a fraction raised to a particular power. So each of the numerator acquires the power which is outside the bracket. In the same way, the denominator acquires the power m. But if it were a squared, then the numerator would be 2 times m, which will be 2m. So it will be a power 2m, and this one would be b power 2m. So let's open our books and now follow examples and explanation of the same in our class next. Thank you.